Welcome back to the Chad DiMera channel, your absolute favorite spot for all the juiciest, most dramatic days of our lives tea. Can you believe it? The spoilers for this June are absolutely devastating, and we need to talk about the massive, heartbreaking nightmare unfolding for Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree. If you thought their love story had finally reached a peaceful plateau, you are dead wrong. We all know Chanel has been diagnosed with malignant breast cancer while pregnant, but the new information we just got is shaking the entire fandom to its core. Chanel had a horrific consultation with her oncologist. She felt like a mere statistic, a number on a chart rather than a human being. Because of this cold clinical experience, she is flat out refusing her doctor's recommendations. She is making the agonizing decision to delay her cancer treatments to ensure her unborn baby is born safely. But here's the kicker. Johnny is absolutely losing his mind over this. The spoilers reveal that Johnny is going to extreme, incredibly dark lengths to change her mind. He tells Chanel that he will never ever forgive her if she dies for this baby. He even threatens that he won't be able to look at the child, essentially promising to resent their own baby if it costs him the love of his life. He is going to say some truly terrible, gut-wrenching things to force Chanel to prioritize her own life over the pregnancy. His argument is brutal but clear. They can always have another baby, but there is only one Chanel. He is pulling out all the stops, doing everything in his power to force his wife to rethink this lethal decision. Will it work? That is the million-dollar question. Let's be real for a second. A lot of fans think Johnny is being horribly abusive and selfish here, but I'm telling you, it's definitely a desperate act of pure, unadulterated, true love. You have to look at Johnny's psychological profile to truly understand why he is reacting with such intense hostility toward his own unborn child. This is a classic DiMera move mixed with the fierce ton of energy of a Brady. Think about his parents. He is the son of DiMera and Sami Brady. Sami is the queen of making impossible, morally ambiguous choices to protect the people she loves. Remember the lengths Sami would go to for Will, Allie, Johnny, and Sydney? Sami would burn Salem to the ground if it meant saving her family. Johnny has that exact same fire in his veins. And then you have the EJ influence. EJ is a man who plays God, a man who is currently messing with Dr. Rolf's Versavic serum to cheat death with Lexi. Johnny recently stepped down as CEO of DiMera Enterprises because he wanted no part of his father's toxic legacy. He wants to be a better man, but in this moment of pure terror, when the woman he loves is facing a death sentence, Johnny is tapping into that ruthless DiMera DNA. He is using emotional manipulation, threats, and calculated cruelty to save Chanel's life. He knows that telling a pregnant mother he will hate their child is the most agonizing thing she could possibly hear. He is weaponizing her maternal instinct against her. It's a massive plot twist for his character, shifting him from the sweet, supportive husband into a desperate man willing to destroy his own soul if it keeps his wife breathing. I think this was a huge mistake on the doctor's part, making Chanel feel like a statistic. Chanel is a deeply emotional, sitting in the vibrant legacy character. She is the daughter of Paulina Price, a woman who has survived her own horrific traumas and health scares. Paulina fought tooth and nail to build a life for her girls, Lonnie and Chanel. Chanel has inherited that fierce, protective, matriarchal energy. When she looks at her ultrasound, she doesn't see a medical complication, she sees her future. She sees a tiny, innocent life that she is biologically hardwired to protect at all costs. For Chanel, the idea of undergoing harsh chemotherapy or radiation that could harm or terminate her baby is a non-starter. She wants her happily ever after, and she is willing to sacrifice her own life to give her child a chance to live. But you guys, what do you think? Is Johnny going too far? Is he lying again about how he would feel about the baby, just to scare her? I passionately defend Johnny here because he is watching his entire world crumble. Imagine being in his shoes. You finally marry the girl of your dreams after a slow burn romance that survived devil possessions, family feuds, and endless drama, and now you are told she might die because she refuses treatment. It's a literal nightmare. Johnny stepping down from the DiMera throne to focus entirely on Chanel shows, where his true loyalties lie. He doesn't care about money, power, or Stefano's legacy. He only cares about Chanel. And you won't believe what happens next as we look at how this mirrors past events in Salem. We have seen medical crises tear couples apart before. Remember when Sarah Horton lost her baby, Mackenzie? The grief completely shattered her reality. Now, Sarah is the very doctor who has to counsel Johnny and Chanel through this impossible choice. Sarah knows the agony of losing a child, but as a medical professional, she also knows the grim reality of aggressive, malignant breast cancer. Sarah is going to be caught right in the middle of this marital war zone. I can already picture the explosive scenes in the hospital corridors, Johnny screaming at Sarah to do something to force Chanel into treatment, while Chanel tearfully begs Sarah to help her save the baby. Let's talk about the fandom theories swirling around this storyline. Some fans are speculating that Johnny might try to take legal action to force Chanel into treatment, declaring her medically incompetent due to pregnancy hormones and stress. That would be an insane cliffhanger. Can you imagine Johnny taking his own wife to court to save her life? It would absolutely destroy their marriage, but in Johnny's mind, a destroyed marriage with a living Chanel is better than being a widower. Other fans are wondering if EJ will step in. We know EJ is currently panicking because Dr. Rolf's Versavix serum is failing on Lexi. What if EJ, in a twisted attempt to help his son, offers Chanel an experimental DiMera drug? I am ruthlessly critical of EJ's science experiments because they always end in tragedy. If EJ tries to use Chanel as a guinea pig for a new, untested cure, Johnny might literally kill his own father. The DiMera mansion is already a powder keg, and this situation is the match that could blow it all sky high. And we cannot forget about Paulina. Where does she stand in all of this? Paulina is currently dealing with the emotional fallout of stepping aside for Abe and Lexi. But knowing Paulina, the second she realizes the severity of Chanel's condition, she is going to drop everything. Will Paulina side with Johnny? Usually, mothers want their children to live above all else. I predict Paulina will team up with Johnny to stage a massive intervention. Paulina is a force of nature, and if she and Johnny tag team Chanel, the emotional weight of that confrontation will be Emmy-worthy. This storyline is tearing at the very fabric of what it means to be a parent and a partner. Johnny's raw, unfiltered anger is masking a deep, paralyzing fear. He is a young man who has already seen too much death and betrayal. He is looking at the prospect of raising a child alone, looking into the eyes of a baby that cost him his soulmate. When he says, "A baby can be born again, but your life is singular," he is speaking from a place of profound existential dread. He is stripping away all the romanticized notions of martyrdom and giving Chanel the ugly, brutal truth of his grief. I honestly cannot wait to see Carson Boatman and Raven Bowens act the absolute house down in these upcoming scenes. The raw emotion, the screaming matches in their apartment, the tears, the slamming doors, it is going to be soap opera gold. We are watching a recast Johnny who has truly made the role his own, delivering performances that echo the great DiMera and Brady legends of the past. So, Chad DiMera channel family, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you side with Chanel's ultimate maternal sacrifice, or do you stand with Johnny's desperate, ruthless fight to keep his wife alive? Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from Salem. Until next time, stay passionate, stay dramatic, and keep watching Days.